Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, the price of gas, my analysis of it, and what do I think moving forward. First, let me begin by saying this is purely my opinion. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a professional analyst or an investment advisor or anything else. So take what I say as pure entertainment and my opinion. But I do have an opinion on the matter, and I need to go back a little ways as some background for this. I do in-home appliance repair as my primary business, and I've been doing this for 30 years. Going back 21 years ago, the price of gas had gone from, I think it was $1.04 a gallon here in the US, up to a maximum, a peak of $4.09. So to give you an idea, that would be in today's dollars probably somewhere in the range of about $6 or $7, maybe even higher per gallon, you know, corrected for inflation. And at that time, I was driving a Chevy Astro van as my service vehicle. That thing only got about 14 to 15 miles per gallon, and I was averaging 160 miles a day. 130 on a slow day. So that thing was killing me. In fact, I remember at one point, at one point I was traveling further per service call, and it was, I would gas up the van, and it cost me $72 to fill it up, and I filled it up every second day. So it was costing me $36 per day in gas alone. And at that point in my life, I really couldn't afford that. And that was when I began looking at more fuel-efficient vehicles, and I moved from that van to I believe I got my Toyota Camry after that, used car. Had that for quite some time, and I went to, after that, I got a Saturn, stick shift Saturn station wagon. That car was actually a lot of fun, very good on gas. I believe that wagon was 34 miles to the gallon, 32 or 34, something like that, and was relatively fun to drive. And as time moved on, I started looking at hybrids, and couldn't afford a new car at the time, but eventually got my Ford C-Max hybrid, 2013, and my adult son still owns it. I moved from that Ford C-Max to my first Tesla Model 3 that I traded in last summer for this car, my Performance Model 3. And I've seen the price of gas fluctuate over that time. And now the price of gas is going up again. There are numerous reasons why the price of gas, I believe, is increasing. It is, some of it is political, although I don't want to get into a political discussion in this video, but some of it is political. Some of it has to do with the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and some of it has to do even with just the overall economy and sort of what's going on behind the scenes. I think that all of us, it would behoove us all to drive a bit less and to try to minimize how much gas we're using. Here in America, Americans are used to just driving, and they'll put up with the price of gas. They'll complain about it, but they'll still just whatever. They'll fill up their car and complain, but they're still going to drive. Well, my wife and I aren't that way. When the price of gas goes up, we reduce how much we drive, and I think that it's a wise thing to do for a number of reasons, not the least of which is to save money. But it's also good just to minimize the usage of our natural resources. Now, what do I think about the price of gas going forward? That's an interesting question. My opinion is that it's going to rise quite a bit more before it starts to settle back down again. And I've got a number of reasons why I feel that way. First off, at least here in my part of the country, we're in the winter time, and the economy at least in our area, the local economy depresses a bit in the winter. All of the southern states, pretty much the the economic growth is hampered during the winter time, and in fact, oftentimes it regresses just a bit. So there's that, and there's, you know, the northern half of the country is in winter right now, so that's part of it. Number two, the fact that we've got the war going on between Russia and Ukraine, as I mentioned before. Number three, and this is where it gets a little bit political, and that is the oil pipeline. We have access to our own oil, but we can't move it because of shutting down the pipeline. And I know there's negatives to opening it. I get that, but the truth of the matter is we wouldn't have quite as big a crisis right now if that pipeline were open. So my opinion is that this is a perfect storm for radically high gas prices. Now, you would think that doesn't affect me at all. I drive a Tesla. My wife's daily driver is our new 2022 Mini Cooper Countryman All-4 SE plug-in hybrid. It uses a little bit of gas, but the vast majority of my wife's day-to-day driving is done purely electric. So you would think, oh, and my teenage son uses another Ford C-Max hybrid, a 2018, I believe it is, that we bought last summer. So you would think that the price of gas doesn't affect us. Well, it affects everyone in that we have to transport goods. That is typically done either by rail, which uses diesel, or by semi-truck. The bulk of goods are moved around by semi-truck, and they use diesel fuel. Also, just energy on the whole does go up in expense when the price of gas rises. Now, I will say that we aren't as directly affected, and there is a bit of a delayed reaction when the price of fuel goes up to drive the price of other goods and other energy sources up. But the fact of the matter is it does have a trickle-down effect, and it affects us as well. I will say that it does feel good to have an electric car during these high gas price times, because again, I'm not directly affected. I'm not spending $80 to fill up where it used to be 45 or 30 or whatever. But it does still affect all of us. Now, I do think that the increased price of fuel is going to drive up the price of the used car market even higher, mainly for energy efficient vehicles, whether it be EVs or hybrids. I think that the value of those vehicles is really going to go up tremendously. And so for those of you that are looking to buy, you're going to want to look at your overall finances, what you spend in fuel costs right now versus the added expense that you could potentially have in purchasing another vehicle that might either be better on fuel or not use gasoline at all. I would say that for the average person, the premium that you're going to pay to step into either a hybrid or an EV at this time may be not well represented in just looking at the gas savings. So kind of weigh everything. I will say, however, that if you're getting rid of a gas car, even the market for gas cars is up right now. The tide rises all ships, so to speak. So as the value of used cars as a whole goes up, all car prices will go up, but I would say energy efficient cars are going to go up further in value right now. And certain cars, Teslas, there's a very long wait to get a new Tesla. I could sell this car for a lot more than I paid for it if I was willing to part with it right now, but I have no reason to. I don't really need the money, and I need the car more than I would need the extra money. Plus, I would have to get another vehicle anyway, and I drive over 100 miles a day, so it would be foolhardy for me to get rid of this car. But I would say my guess is that the national average price of fuel will reach $6 per gallon before it goes down. That's my guess. Now, I could be totally wrong. It may be that starting today, the price of fuel begins to drop, and it could go back down to, under $2 a gallon, and it'd be great. But my guess is it's going to hit or surpass $6 per gallon within the next 4 to 6 weeks would be my guess. And this is purely anecdotal evidence. It's just my assessment of the situation personally, but that's kind of what I'm assuming. And let's also not forget the fact that we here in America have enjoyed historically low fuel prices. I mean, just on the whole, throughout history. And that's something that the rest of the world does not enjoy. Much of the world spends twice or more on fuel per gallon or per liter versus here in the States. So, but it is a concern because the price of oil and the price of gas affects our economy pretty tremendously. We are a more vehicle-driven economy than most. So that is my take on it. That is my assessment. And what do you guys think? This is something that's been weighing on my heart lately, and I wanted to share my thoughts on it. I don't want to create any kind of a panic and people, gas is going to go up and whatever. But I do think it is going to go up in price. And I know there are a couple farms in the area that purchase gasoline 300 or 500 gallons at a time. They have external tanks that they fill up in order to fuel their farm equipment during the summer. And I know a number of those farms have filled those tanks up, guessing that the price of fuel is going to go up even further so that they can just fuel their own vehicles. So it's a thing. It's happening. So anyway, that's my take on it. Hope I didn't get too political on you guys. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section below. For those of you that have ordered screen mount kits, the Atlas mounts are shipping rapidly. If you order just the standard swiveling mount, the one that swivels left and right but does not pitch adjust like the Atlas mount, there is quite a wait on the swiveling mounts. It's not denoted in the Shopify page, but there is quite a wait, mainly because we had such a backlog of Atlas mounts, we shifted over to only producing Atlas mounts for a period of time. So if you have a swiveling mount ordered, I would have emailed you to give you the option to step up to an Atlas mount at a steep discount. If you want to order a screen mount, go ahead. There'll be a link in the description below, along with a discount code. So thanks for tuning in, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. And as always, stay charged. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye now.